everybody, and welcome to episode number 11 of the Round Rabbit podcast. My name is Nancy, and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Round Rabbit, and you can shop for my handmade items at, roundrabbitextra.bigcartel.com. I'm still so smooth. What can I say? Welcome back, everyone who has come back after my last episode. I applaud you for doing so. Today is Thursday, November 17th, 2016, I think. And what a week it's been. I'm just going to start right off by thanking everyone who sent me messages and emails. It was a bit overwhelming, the support that I received after my rather tearful episode last week concerning certain world events. And I'm truly touched by some of the things that people said to me and the support that was shown. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it this week. I've promised to give you and myself a break from all of that, but I will say that I think we're in a good position, because I think that we're living in a time when people aren't going to be quiet about certain injustices in this world, and I have high hopes that no matter what happens, which some of these things are not going to be good, but I do believe that we as a society are not going to let them happen, at least not without one hell of a fight and a lot of yelling. So, I want to send a really special thank you out to all my Canadian friends. Really just had so much support from all of you up north. I live in a tourist-driven area. As some of you may know, it's a winery area, so we get quite a lot of Canadians coming down. We're not too far from the border, and the support from people I've seen and people who have written to me has just been really heartwarming, and just great. Totally appreciate that. So thank you so much. Anyway, I'm not actually going to talk about any of that crap this week. I'm going to talk about things like knitting and sewing and crafty things. And of course, wine, because that's what's really got me through this last week. So I got to, give some props where props are due. Yes, today I'm drinking bubbles. Yay! This beautiful glass was painted by my friend Stephanie. This was a really sweet housewarming present from her. She and her significant other live right next door to us. And thank you, Stephanie, because it's beautiful. And everything tastes better coming out of this glass. So I'm going to try it right now. Today I'm drinking bubbles. Last night my husband and I attended a wine tasting of sorts. A friend of ours organizes once a month. He chooses a particular wine, a particular grape, and organizes a blind tasting for anybody who wants to show up. It's a really wonderful little community event. It's usually in a different winery somewhere around the lake. This week was just right up the road from us at J.R. Dill Winery. And the wine of choice this week was bubbles, which are, some of my favorite things. So we got to taste, it was probably, at least 10 different types of bubbly wines. And we commented, we wrote notes down on things such as the nose and the taste and our overall impression. This is by no means like a snobby wine event. We don't use the proper words that other, professionals would use. We use words like, this smells like farm. I had one wine that smelled like bicycle tires to me. There was another that my husband described as monkey ass, which was actually quite fitting. In the end, it turns out the one that I liked the most was made by the winery that I am in their backyard, Leidenfrost Wineries. I talked about them a few podcasts ago. And they have a wonderful bubbly wine called Tattooed Lady, and that was my favorite, and I was so excited to know that. However, I'm drinking something different today. This was actually my second favorite of the evening, and this was by the winery that was hosting the event, J.R. Dill. I'll show you a rather, I just took it out of the fridge, so there's a little condensation happening. J.R. Dill, this is a Cayuga White bubbly wine, and Cayuga grape is a native grape to this area, and it is usually, wines made from it are usually quite sweet. This is not. This is on the dry side, and it's delicious. Of course it's delicious. Let me just say that I'm really excited about the number of people out there who are now joining me and having a glass of something while they watch my podcast. I've been hearing this from people that they look forward to seeing this and they like to have their favorite drink with me. I love that. Thank you so much for doing that. I just watched Peta from Dingo Dye Works podcast. She is celebrating her first year as a yarn dyer. And she cracked open a bottle on her podcast, and I dropped everything and ran and opened a bottle myself, and any excuse really to stop working and drink a bottle of wine. Well, I didn't drink the whole bottle, not at once. That would not be good, not even for me. But yeah, anyway, so please do have a drink with me. It makes me really happy to know that I'm not drinking alone. So let's crack on with things, shall we? Let's see. I'm kind of chaotic. I got stuff like on either side of me. And let's see. Look at the notes and see where I'm at. Okay, I will talk about some finished objects. Last week I showed you a hat that I made that was for someone with a much smaller head than me. I have a large cranium. And it isn't just because of all this hair, because actually, I'll pull it back tight or I braid it down tight. It doesn't matter. I still have a big head. So it's very hard for me to find patterns that will fit this gigantic head. Anyway, I started working on one that I showed you the beginning of. I think let me get the pattern here. It is called the Countryside Bulky Split Brim Hat with Braids. That's a mouthful. The pattern is by Nicole F. Cox, otherwise known as This Moment Is Good. Here's you can kind of see it. Anyway, I really like this pattern because I live in a climate that can be quite wintry when it wants to be. Upstate New York, it's a giver. You never know what you're going to get, especially living on a lake. We do tend to have more mild winters sometimes. Sometimes we do not. Every winter is different. But there will always be a period of the winter that is bitter, bitter cold. So this hat was very appealing to me because it covers the ears, and that's like really big. Not many hats do that actually, where the design is made to come down over your ears. So I set out with high hopes that this hat would actually fit my giant head, and it does. So here's the first one that I made. As you can see, so this is the back part, sits on your head like this. These little flappy things come down right over the ears, and then they have this fun braids that hang down. And of course I had to do a pom-pom because I freaking love pom-poms. I don't know. I love them. I don't know if you I'm like in my mid 40s. If you grew up in the US, I don't know if this was common anywhere else. Maybe it was. But there was a pom-pom phase I'm going to say this would be in the early 80s. And my friend Kim and I would make endless amounts of pom-poms and tie them onto our zipper pulls of every jacket and coat we owned. We were also pretty awesome roller skaters, and my roller skates were totally decked out with pom-poms. So the love of pom-poms has never left me. I even have a Christmas tree that I put up that is covered in little tiny colorful rainbow pom-poms. So yeah, there you have it. Anyway, I'm not going to put this hat on right now. Is that vain? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put the hat on. Even though I did warn you last week that when my hair is down and I put a hat on, it's an interesting sight, but you know, we're just going to let you see for yourself. Yeah. I feel like I should, be smoking a joint and sucking down a beer or something. Anyway, so yeah, I have to get my hair under control. As you can see, it's a little stiff. This yarn that I used, what did I use? Which is actually the yarn that Nicole recommended when she made her pattern. It is Lion Brand Wool Ease Thick and Quick. It's actually mostly acrylic, I think. Let me see. 80% acrylic, 20% wool. And if you watched last week, I mentioned that I happen to have quite a bit of this in my stash because I used this to make Christmas gifts a number of years ago and had still quite a bit left. Anyway, I really like this yarn. I think it's a really great if you're gonna wear the hell out of something, especially if you're giving it as gifts and people don't want to worry about washing something carefully. This is a great yarn, and it wears great, it washes great, and it's really freaking warm, as I'm now experiencing. So anyway, as you can see, let's see, yeah, covers the ears, has these delightful little braids hanging down, and I put a pom-pom. You don't have to put a pom-pom. I also made it a little higher. I mean, you could make this a tight fit and just have a big old pom-pom on the top of your head. I gave it a little slouch. However, this yarn doesn't actually, there's not a lot of slouch happening with this. This is probably made as it is. It's probably still just the tiniest bit snug on my giant fat head. But it's not uncomfortable at all. Not at all. And I will definitely be wearing this. Definitely. So what I did after I made this and I realized, hey, I kind of like that hat quite a bit. I looked into my yarn stash. So behind this side, this is all wool right here. This is my woolness, except for these funny things right here, actually t-shirt yarn, but I just stuck them in there. Everything else is wool here. On this side of my room, I have a little stash where I have my cottons, and acrylic blends and whatnot. I do use acrylic now and then, like I said, for gifts. My stepmother is very allergic to wool and other natural fibers, so I make things for her out of acrylic. And a few years ago, I was strolling the aisles of Joann Fabrics, as you do, and I saw some yarn that, I don't know, to me, it looked like it was made out of Muppets. It was like the happiest, furriest, ridiculous looking yarn I had seen in a while, and I needed to buy it. So I bought it, and I didn't just buy a few. I think I bought like 12. I think I bought everything they had, which was like 12 balls of this stuff. I don't really know. I don't know what I was thinking. However, I kind of still love it. I did make a hat out of it right away that I do wear. It's kind of a slouchy hat design. And I'm just realizing that I'm still talking to you wearing this hat. Anyway, yeah, so I even started to make like a shrug out of this yarn, which is really amusing to me now that I did this. Anyway, I frogged that shrug, and I think the whole world breathed a sigh of relief over that, because it would have been seriously insane. So this here is this is the ball of my crazy yarn. See how crazy that is? It's furry. It's like obnoxious colors, but doesn't it look like Muppets? I mean, it's like, that's a lot of Muppety goodness happening in there. So I gotta take this off. It's really hot. Yeah. Gotta fluff my hair back up too. So anywho, yeah, so I bought a lot of this. And I looked at it the other day and just thought, I need to make one of these hats in this yarn. So I did. And here it is. Here's my Muppet hat. Love my Muppet hat. Check out the colors happening there. Pom-pom. Yep. Love that pom-pom. I don't know. I mean, this thing, it's both the ugliest thing I've ever made and my favorite thing I've ever made. I love it. I just love this hat. I love this hat so much. And I think I'm just going to live in it. And my husband's just going to have to accept the fact that this is what I look like all winter long. So, yeah. Here it is. Check that out. Look at that pom-pom. I love this. So this is the yarn, because you're all dying to know. I'm sure you're going to just run right out and buy some. Actually, I don't even know if they make this anymore, but it is called Angel Hair by Pearl Essence. And it's their luxury line. Oh yeah, I know quality. I know quality. And believe it or not, there is actually some natural fibers in this beautiful stuff. Let's see. This is 50% acrylic, 28% nylon, 22% wool. Yeah, so I won't be walking by any open flames while I wear this. However, I'm in love with this yarn all over again. And I think there's a few friends that might be getting some Muppet hats for Christmas, because this took me, I made this in like 2 hours. This was like seriously a fast knit. Yeah, oh, this stuff is hot too. Jeez. Never underestimate the power of synthetic fiber. Man, it's warm. Yeah. You can tell the bubbles are hitting me already. There's something about bubbles that it's like it amplifies everything. The last time I drank bubbles on this podcast, I was way more tipsy than I think you could even tell. I was kind of impressed with how I seemed to hold it together, because in my head I was thinking, oh, that you've got to stop this. This is not good. It's kind of what's happening right now. Oh well, we'll just go with it. So yeah, this is my yarn. I still have, I've got this huge ball, and I have 6 more of these. Yeah. What is it that the Mean Girls call this? Yarn beard? I think there's a yarn walrus too, but I will spare you the yarn walrus. Anyway, yeah. I love this hat. It's made me happy this week. It's kind of nonsensical and silly and goofy and warm and a bit like a big old pile of macaroni and cheese, which is my, that makes me happy. So mac and cheese of hats happening right here. Love this hat. I'm not going to take it off. Well, no, I am, because it's really hot. All right. Removed it. Gotta fluff the hair again. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So those are my 2 finished objects this week. I have not worked on any of my current works in progress. I have 3 sweaters going. I have my brioche scarf that I would love to finish up. I have a sock. I did work a little bit on my opal sock that I showed you last week. but not that much. I mean, you're going to get sick of seeing that. So I will, next time you see it, it will be a completed sock. Other than that, I did not do any other knitting, and yeah, that's just the way it is. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't think I am. We'll just move on. Oh, I was going to show you, since I don't really have too much to talk about with knitting, I was going to show you something that I made last year. Just for fun. I've been getting out all of my winter knits. Just getting, getting ready for this cold weather that still has not hit us. It's like 65 degrees out today. It should be 35 degrees. It's very strange, though. I think next week we may actually be getting some snow. It would be nice. I love snow, so whatever. Anyway, been getting out all my scarves and cowls and whatnot, and I made this last year. This is the softest cowl ever. This is called the Hoxie cowl. I'll show you a close-up of that. They look like little bunnies, don't they? Little white bunnies. Anyway, this is a strand work cowl. The first time I ever did color work of any kind. And I just love this pattern. It's almost like a linen stitch, but not quite. Here's the, you can see my inside, my stranding work. The yarn is 100% baby alpaca. The rainbow colorful one, let me think now, that is Misty Alpaca. I believe the colorway is Pico. I think it's hand painted chunky, something like that, and the colorway is Pico. The white, the cream color, totally forgetting what this is. But I'll put the information up. It is on my Ravelry page if you look under Round Rabbit. It was very inexpensive compared to the Misty Alpaca. The Misty Alpaca is pretty pricey, but oh my gosh, the quality is amazing. But I will say this, whatever this is, this cream, equally is nice and at a fraction of the price. So I will be sure to put that up. I just can't think of what it is right now. Anyway, this pattern came out of the fall, let's see here, winter 2016 issue of Interweave Knits magazine. I've subscribed to this magazine for quite a while, and I really enjoy it. And if you are a loom knitter like I am, this is a great pattern for loom knitters as well. It's knit in the round, which means there's absolutely no conversion needed of the pattern. Usually if you're converting a needle pattern to a loom knitting pattern, you need to do the opposite on all of the wrong side rows, but since this is in the round, there is no wrong side row. You can follow directions as given, which is really wonderful. So this is what it looks like in the magazine. And I think my gauge was a little bit tighter, a little bit different, so my design came out a tiny bit smaller, but I love it. It's dense. It's nice and dense. I'll just show that to you again. Yeah. But this is so hot. It's one of those things that you put it on and you really can't leave it on when you're inside because your neck will shed about 10 pounds. Maybe I should make like a whole jumpsuit out of this. Be a new weight loss program for knitters. I think that's really funny. Does anybody else think that's funny? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so that's something I made last winter. It was a very quick knit, and I love it. I might make another one just because it's a great design, and yeah, I really love that yarn too. Okay, so for sewing this week, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I was knitting up some project bags using my chipper fabric. I wore my blouse last week that was made with my little chipmunk in the front. I purchased 1 yard of that fabric. It's a fabric by Tula Pink, and I just love it. But I didn't need very much of it, so I decided to use all of it up and make some project bags. And I really love what I've made, and I kind of want to keep them all, which is just stupid. Who needs them? I don't need them. But anyway, I cut out each chipmunk that I had left in the fabric, and I had enough for about, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 7 bags. So I have 4 made. This is the smallest one right here, this little guy. It's double-sided. He's on both sides. And there is an aqua lining. And yeah, so what I had to do, because some of the chipmunks along the selvage edges were cut off a bit. So like for instance, this little guy, his tail was cut off, but it doesn't even matter because he still looks pretty snazzy. So I have 2 that are from that part of the fabric. This one is a little bit bigger. When I hold them close, they look huge, but this is pretty small. This one also has a aqua lining. They are all gusseted at the bottom so that they can stand up. I did a little snazzy, on this side, snazzy ribbon trim. And they're quilted. They're not quilted, but they have quilted interfacing in them. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I have 2 like this, and oh man, do I love this bag. I love this bag. How cute is that? This fabric right here, why can't I ever learn that? This fabric right here. I love this fabric, and I have searched high and low to find it by the yard. Here's another part of it. Look at how pretty that is. Anyway, this fabric I purchased at Joann Fabrics a while ago, and it was in the form of a fat quarter. And they did not have it on a bolt, so I couldn't buy it by the yard, and I really want to because I want to make a shirt with this in it. Anyway, after much sleuthing, I found out that they only made it in fat quarters, and that's the only way they've sold it. So if anybody knows of, I really want a dark gray background with this light turquoisey aqua over the top of it. It's one of my favorite color combinations. So if you know of a fabric that kind of might look like this a little bit, please let me know. Because I hoarded everything I could find, which is not much. I think I have like 3 fat quarters of it left. Yeah. Anyway, this bag, I love this bag. You get to see the whole chipper in all his wonderful glory. Inside is light gray. Zipper's dark gray. Yeah, I have 2 of those. So these will be, I'll be putting them in the shop. Oh, I don't know. Today, tomorrow. I don't know. I can make 3 more bags, so I might try to get all of those done and get them all in at once. But like I've said before, if you follow me on Instagram, Round Rabbit, you will know when I have listed them because I try to put up a picture saying that I've listed them. So that is it for sewing. Other than that, this week, the only crafty thing I've done is construct my paper doll, that I showed you a few episodes ago. Some of you may know I have a little paper doll obsession. Don't know why. I don't know, but I've been purchasing paper dolls from Green Girl Studios. I believe on Etsy their shop is cynthiathornton.etsy.com, I think. Anyway, I've made a few, and then I bought this one. This is the Moth Fairy. Check her out. Yeah, She's pretty amazing. Everything moves, every part moves. And she's flying away. Oh my God. Yeah. So anyway, she was pretty intricate. She has a lot of joints and whatnot, but I'm really happy with her. I follow them on Instagram, and they recently did some kind of a show in California. And they showed a few pictures of other paper doll kits that they don't have in their Etsy shop that I know of. One was a giant bunny rabbit, which of course I need. I need this. And the other one was a unicorn, which I also need. So I really hope that they release those soon, because I have to have these things. These simple little things in my life that, help me get through each day. That's not true. It's not like each day is really that hard to get through. I make it sound, I'm a little dramatic. I'm going to blame this. But yeah, I'm dramatic. Yeah. And the sun's going to start coming through any second now. So I might want to wrap things up so that I don't get blinded. Let's see here. What time? I'm at 31 minutes. As far as podcasts go this week, I am going to mention one, and that is the She's Crafty podcast with Kina. Kina sent me a really lovely message on Instagram, through Instagram, telling me that she heard about my podcast from David of the Dog Dare podcast. David, who is my parallel universe boyfriend. I'm pretty sure that in a parallel universe, I'm probably a gay man. And all the signs are there right now. I do like men, as my husband will tell you. I can grow a pretty good mustache. That's a little known fact. I try to, I keep that to myself for the most part, but these are little indicators that in a parallel universe, I can't even talk. I am a gay man. There's a soundbite for you. You can cut that right off and just, play that one little part for whatever reason. Oh my God. Anyway, David, sorry. I know I'm terrifying. Thank you for introducing Kina to my podcast. And in turn, I discovered her podcast, which I think is awesome. And Kina is just this really cool person, lives in Las Vegas. She is a Vegas dealer, I believe. And yeah, she's very talented. She does knitting. She does all kinds of crafty things. She spins. And I've just been really enjoying watching her podcast. She's very down to earth, very real. And yeah, I'm just getting a kick out of her. So thanks for letting me know that you were watching my podcast, Kina, because I found you now, and I'm pretty happy about that. So there you have it. I think that's it for today. As always, what happened? What just happened? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to just reiterate my thank yous at the beginning. I'm going to end this with some more thank yous. Once again, for everyone who reached out to me last week. It made this past week a little more bearable to know that I was not alone in my sadness and sorrow and fear for this world. But I do feel a bit more hopeful, for what it's worth, that things are going to have a way of working themselves out. And at the very least, I think we can all agree that the next 4 years are not going to be boring. Good or bad, we will not be bored. So there's that. Anyway, you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Round Rabbit, and you can shop for my things in roundrabbitextra.bigcartel.com. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.